Choice of the chosen, yeah. Choice of the chosen, yeah.
Welcome to Chosen Family Sports Podcast. Today we'll be talking all things sport with the Rugby World Cup special coming up later. But first I'd like to introduce my right-hand man, Amorangi Goldsmith. How you been, bro?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me again. It's good to be back.
I've always got to have my right-hand man right next to me with a good yarn or two.
I like that.
Also today we've got a special guest. Some of you may know him. Jacob, the bass coming in loud, Birch. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I've got the mic turned down, so we're going to try and keep it audible.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Good.
Boys, we've had a long, it's been about 29 weeks now or so of NRL, and we've finally come down to the last game. What were your thoughts from the Broncos v Roosters game?
I'll slip in there. It was probably the best game I think I've seen all season. It was the best two teams going at it, and that's what you get from two quality teams. Just a wicked game all over the park. Defence, offence, I loved every flipping second of it.
I'm just going to jump straight on the back of that and just agree wholeheartedly. That was seriously what rugby league was all about. That game had everything. Those halves for the Broncos, they've come such a long way. Those two, the combination for that try that McCulloch ended up scoring, that was just amazing.
Oh my God! And every time Milford gets the ball, he's just exciting. You've seen that with the Canberra Raiders, but the Broncos are bringing it out of him. I don't know if it's Wayne Bennett or if it's like the players around him, but he is honestly the X factor for that team.
I honestly think it's the playing group, the way that they've managed to develop him and just the confidence to do what he does now when he gets the ball. He's just got the confidence to make those decisions. I think he's getting a lot more ball than he was at the start of the season, and I don't know whether it's Ben Hunt sharing it or him just commanding the ball, but he's come such a long way from the trial of him playing in the halves at the start of the season.
He also he looks like he's more comfortable in the position now. Like he looks more at home. But definitely I'd have to agree with both those statements. The Broncos have had a well of a year. Like at the start of the season, did you really think that it would be their team?
Hell no.
Yeah, would be that.
Nah, I don't.
The Broncos always had that pack. Like they've got a good pack. There's nothing wrong with it. They've got a solid spine. It was a little bit of a question mark around Milford. They knew he had talent. Darius Boyd obviously with his dad, and I think the team was always looking up. They were always going to be a team to watch. I didn't think they'd be this good, but I think they were always they were top 8 material.
Look at that backline though. Seriously, they have a really good pack. But Darius Boyd, he's good. He does all the little things right, but he's not an X factor player. He's not going to break tackles. He's not going to run 300 meters RTS like. He just does all the basics right, doesn't make mistakes. You've got Corey Oates, who's a back rower on the wing. I don't know what Wayne Bennett's doing, but it's working for him. Jordan Kahu, Jordan Kahu's not a super flash player. Jack Reed has a lot of errors in his game, and I think if Cowboys are going to win, they're going to have to expose him, because I don't think he's that great of a defender, and you've seen that when Ferguson ruined him twice in the weekend. And
that was embarrassing.
Milford turning into a 6 when he's usually a fullback. We didn't know how that was going to go. So,
yeah, that's true.
Seriously, from the start of the season, no one would have thought they would have gone as good as what they have done. Yeah. And the fact that they have done this good is huge. And I think it has to go to Wayne Bennett.
Yeah, definitely two big things that came out of that game was Adam Blair, another amazing performance, something we never seen at the Tigers.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And also, also the Mitchell Pearce factor. Should have he played?
Well, in hindsight, it's obvious that he shouldn't have, isn't it? Look at what happened.
Yeah, but
you're looking into your crystal ball.
He's a killer at club level. He's one of your best halfbacks. You have to play him.
Yeah. If he's healthy, you're right.
You're telling me you wouldn't. You're telling me you wouldn't if you were the coach of the Roosters.
If he passed the fitness test, I would have picked him.
Yeah, if he passed his fitness test, but he was not running on. I don't even reckon he was running on 90%.
Mate, I would play him if he was running on 60. That's how good he is. I would have done it. Trent Robinson, I think, made the right decision, and I just think they got outdone by a Broncos team that were ready. They were ready for it.
They were red hot as well, though. Like, how good were they?
Oh,
Like, there wasn't much wrong with that performance.
nah.
Right from the start, when Sean Kennedy-Dale threw that pass, I was like on my feet. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like excited. Roosters are a damn good team, and if they didn't defend as well, Broncos would have put 50 to 60 points on anybody else.
Oh, playing like that, yeah, absolutely right. I think they would have taken down, even an international side playing that good. Like, that performance was just polished.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was.
And then we came to the game last night, which was a bit of a shock for me. The Cowboys ran home pretty easy in the end. One thing that definitely came out of that game that I know Hemi will be quite proud of, with the cleaning up the Aussie overseas. He'll be quite proud when Jonathan Thurston ran out on the field and scared the Seagulls away for his old mate Cameron Smith to kick the ball.
Yeah, do you actually think he was doing that, or that was like a little bit of like play action there, like I'm pretending to help you, but I'm also trying to fuck you up, you know?
I think it was a bit of both. But
I think it's a bit of both too.
yeah, definitely. But the Cowboys are definitely running hot now as well, and it's going to be a huge final. First time in what was the first time since like 2008 or something there hasn't been a Sydney team in the grand final.
Yeah, something like that. But I think it's well deserved.
Definitely.
Cowboys looked way better than the Storm, and I went in thinking that the Storm were going to win that game, but then when you started watching them play, Cowboys, they just always seem to get over the advantage line. Those big forwards just roll up, and then JT just, if it's not on out the back, he'll just keep giving it to Cooper, keep giving it to Ethan Lowe, and they just keep running those suicide lines, and then eventually they'll make a mistake, and JT, being the best player in the world, just knows when to throw that perfect skip ball, or out the back, or the flat ball. He just, every time he makes a decision, it always seems to be the right decision.
Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head with that pack. Like, that pack was phenomenal. Just that go for that their props in particular got. I think Tamo had 12 carries in the first 10 minutes or something. It's just like, that work rate was huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you
looking at
watch
like
Tomalolo also.
you go.
You gonna make it?
No, you go, mate.
Okay. Tomalolo, they almost use him in the middle, just to go up the middle at the start, and then at the second, when he comes on for a second spell, they move him a little bit wider. I think, he's just so dangerous. I honestly think that they're going to push Broncos. They are going to push them, but I don't know if they can beat the Broncos.
Definitely. Like, I'm just looking at a few stats here, and Matt Scott finished with a game high of 203 metres, while Bromwich, who would be arguably the best prop in the world at the moment, only finished with 93. And that tells a
Matt
big.
Scott's been the benchmark of props for a while, though, isn't he? Like, ever since Petro Civoniceva sort of retired, he's sort of been the next go-to, isn't he? Like, it's what the sense of benchmark on what you need to achieve to be a quality, or a leading player in that position. I agree with what you're saying that Jesse Bromwich has had a big year, but he just doesn't seem to have that consistency that you get from a Matt Scott.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I disagree with that. Matt Scott, gives you meters, but he only runs forward. Bromwich has footwork late at the line, which gives him an opportunity to offload, and that's why you see him in the top three with offloads. And he scores tries with that footwork. He makes more people come into the tackle, where Matt Scott will just get the standard 2, maybe 3. Bromwich, it takes too many people to contain him, and I think only running 90 metres last night showed that they put a lot of work into stopping him. I think that goes a long way towards beating the Melbourne Storm, stopping Jesse Bromwich.
Yeah,
I agree with
definitely.
what you're saying, but Jesse Bromwich is the go forward guy at the Storm. Like, they've got some big-ish back rowers that go and help him out, but that pack is reliant on him going forward, and for him to only run for 90 odd metres goes to show, like you say, he's been shut down, but that pack just hasn't gone forward, and that's why they've ended up getting on the wrong side of that scoreline.
We're gonna have the.
That's true.
We're gonna have the four of the best halves in the final with Thurston and Morgan, and then we've got Hunt and Milford on the other side. That's definitely going to be a battle to watch.
Yeah, that's good, because it's kind of like Morgan was a fullback, come standoff, and it's the same with Milford. And I think those two, that is actually the matchup, because Morgan's got the speed and the power. He's deceptively big, and he seems to just push away people with a big feint. And I think, he goes a long way. He goes a long way for the Cowboys, and Milford does the same for the Broncos. That's going to be matchup for me of the final.
Yeah,
I think it's no surprises that these two teams have made the final, being that the halves pairing are probably the two of the strongest in the whole comp. And it's, it just goes to show how dominant your spine is to the modern game.
Morgan I've definitely enjoyed his game this year, like you said, Armour. And people they do underestimate, because he does have that bit of quickness to him, and he does have the size. So if he hits that half gap, a lot of times, if you watch him over the season, he'll make that break.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And as you said before about Matt Scott, I was just thinking, Adam Blair's going to be that go-forward guy for the Broncos. I can't wait to see that matchup, Matt Scott versus Adam Blair. Adam Blair's been playing out of his skin. He did on Friday night, and it's going to be an awesome game seeing him go up against Matt Scott.
I can't wait to see a couple of shots. There's going to be a couple of big ones from Adam Blair. He made a couple of great shots in that semi-final.
His mungle in his game just has looked to stepped up, It's
the hunger's back, I think, is what it is, eh?
I think
he did like 2 in a row.
I think it might be a lot to do with the Broncos' environment, because in the Tigers he was very hit miss.
Mostly miss.
A lot of misses.
The only thing that was hitting was his salary and his bloody bank account every month.
Yeah. So definitely with that, the finals on this weekend, that gives us a little bit to reflect over the season. For me, my biggest flop would have to be a team. I know they were hit by a lot of injuries, but the Panthers I just thought would have been a lot better this year. It doesn't help when you have two of your halves out at one stage. But as we all know, everyone gets injuries. It doesn't help, but I just felt they would have had a better year. What about you guys? What would have to be your biggest flop of the year?
Oh, well, first of all, I don't think Panthers were a big flop. Like, as you said, they had heaps of injuries. And I actually think that showed how much depth the club has, because I think they still did it right, and they've got some potential superstars coming through. But flop, I'm going to have to go Warriors, and I don't know how deep you want me to go into it, but that squad and that 8-game losing streak, I couldn't handle it. There's not very many times in my life that I've wanted to, punch my TV, but I wanted to drop the fucking full set of martial art moves on it sometimes after watching them.
I'm going to have to agree with Amor there, and you're right, there's times throughout that, especially the back end of the season, where you did just want to rip your eyes out so you could stop the pain. But to go, I don't like to do this, but to go and single out a couple of guys in the Warriors, which I am going to have to go and do. I was going to say Conrad Harrell and Sam Tompkins, two of the biggest letdowns for this season. Traditionally, I'd stick up for Sam Tompkins quite a lot, and I think he does bring a lot to the game, but the amount of money that we paid him and what was promised and what was delivered, there's a huge disparity. And I think, the inadequacy of his game was a lot of the reason that 8-game losing streak happened. I know he had some problems with injury and that, but it didn't seem like we're getting the value for the $1 million a year that we were paying.
Yes.
I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. And I think he could have done more. He could have done more.
He could have got more involved.
It kind of looked like he was a bit fed up with other people making mistakes sometimes. When you're playing a sport and when you're giving someone else that look, like, it just looked like no one was actually gelling and no one actually looked comfortable out there. And it hurt that you pay someone that much money. He's the guy you should look to step up and, and make everybody else enthused. Like Aaron Smith, whenever you look at that guy, he's G'ing up everybody. I don't think you got that from Sam Tompkins, and that's what I'm disappointed with.
Yes, definitely.
The second part I want to touch on at the Warriors is just the culture. Like, for Conrad Harrell to turn up and be that overweight for the start of the season, what's going on behind the scenes to let that even happen? Like, these are professional athletes. You cannot turn up like that. It's like
You can't.
It's like a tradie turning up to work drunk. Like it happens, but it shouldn't.
Yeah.
And like, these are not that's not the elite tradie you want on your job. You know what I mean? Like we need to really look at what's going on there, and just they need to reinforce some standards.
It's definitely
Well,
disappointing
that's right.
in the Warriors, and I didn't really want to mention them as my biggest flop because I knew it would have been a three-peat from all the panel. To all the listeners out there, we're definitely going to have a Warriors special because as you
We can
know,
talk all day. We
me,
can talk all
Birch,
day.
and will invest a lot of time into our Warriors, and it does hurt when seasons like that continue to happen. So we'll definitely touch more base with the Warriors again. But yeah, they were a big disappointment this year, and definitely hearing other players come out that have been in the systems with them saying bad things about the club is not a good reflection on it. It does actually hurt as a fan as well when they're coming out and saying the culture. And
It
then
does. It hurts me.
yeah, and then you do see like for a while I seen that it was this year and last year, if you're late to training and that, you'd have to dye your hair blonde. And for me, you know, that stuff shouldn't be happening. That's schoolboy stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, these guys are professionals. They know what time to tune up to training, and they're professionals. It's your job to just go there and work your ass off. And we didn't see that, and you can tell we didn't see that because we lost 8 games in a row. And they're saying it's because we have a whole heap of inexperienced players that aren't used to playing 26 rounds of, first-class rugby league.
Nah,
But
that's a cop-out.
this is their job. This is their job.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I can't take that as a fan, and hopefully Jim Doyle is coming to save us from that, so he doesn't put us through that again. Because really, those guys are doing it for us. You know what I mean? They say it every time. They thank the fans. Well, thank us with a win. Okay, thank us for training hard and get us some points on the board. Okay.
How much of this do you think
yeah.
relates back to the leadership group at the club? With your Simon Mannering very much a do as I do type guy, but doesn't seem to be as vocal as he could be. Is he the right guy to be leading him? If this is what happened?
I've got his back 100%, and I'm willing to
I love
argue
the guy. I love the
anybody
guy.
that says that he should not be captain. Who else are you going to make captain that makes over 55 tackles every single game?
Yeah,
Every single game. He's
Definitely.
busting his ass in the middle.
Your top tackler.
definitely.
No, but it's effort. It comes down to effort.
No, it is
You
effort,
show me
you're right.
anyone else that's showing that much effort. He's there every single game, trying his
Definitely,
flipping heart out. And you can't say that he's not trying to motivate them.
I'm not
Definitely,
saying that. I'm
Mannering.
just saying that the results speak for itself. I love the guy. I think he's a fantastic guy, and I think he's great for rugby league. But the club appears that, like you say, effort is lacking. And is it because someone needs a wind-up? Or I don't know. How do we get these guys in line and get them performing like a team that they should be?
Definitely, the captaincy thing for me is huge as well. But we'll touch base on that another time because otherwise you'll probably vibe for the
We're
next.
moving away from him. We're not talking about
Next
them
topic.
anymore.
Next topic.
Come on, move us on, mate.
No, definitely. So with the first week of the finals, we had the Kiwis got named the training squad. Obviously, the biggest talk around it was the Benji factor. For me, I don't know. He's hard to leave out. When you got no Sean Johnson, you got to have someone like that. And I had a phone call from a mate of mine before. You might know him, Harmy Goldsmith, and he had a few points to say. He definitely said if one of your stars go down at the World Cup, a Foran or a Johnson, would you rather have someone like Lulawai, Nikorima, or a Benji Marshall in your team? And on the back of his form this year, it's really disheartening to not see him in the Kiwis jumper.
Okay. I'll let Birchie take that one.
I completely agree with what you're saying. I think we're doing a disservice to the Kiwis jersey by, going and picking guys that haven't even cracked it in first grade, and to leave out someone like Benji Marshall with the experience. He's killed it all years for the Dragons, and if we want to build that environment, we need those old heads there to pass on the knowledge. I don't see where it's coming from. I don't get it.
Okay, well, maybe you should read the papers then, because Kearney has said that there is no chance that Benji is going to come on this tour at the end, because this tour is to build experience. So that's why he's taking Tui Luli here. That's why he's taking Cody Nikarima. Oh, well, after the Broncos go out. He's going to be taking these young fellas so they get experience at that level. There's no point in taking someone like Benji Marshall, who's a little bit, got an injury, had an ankle injury when the Dragons lost, and there's no point taking him over there because he's already got that experience. Taking him over there for 3 to 4 games does nothing. Yes, I bet you that he will be there next year, but at the end of this year, it's to build experience for young fellas, and that's why Benjamin Marshall's not going, because these games aren't that important to the grand scheme of things. We need to follow and trust in Kearney. He's got us 3 wins in a row. He's got us
why can't Benji be in the squad?
Yeah,
why can't Benji be in the squad?
Because there's no point in taking him. What's the point?
How he passes on experience. You want guys like that in your squad.
You want these. You want to take these young fellas to know what it's like. This is the level that you have to be. I bet you next year he will probably be in the squad. But there's no point in taking him over for these 3 games. Let him rest up. The dude's 30 years old. Okay, let him rest his body. You don't want him, someone, as you say.
I understand where you're definitely coming from there. I understand where you're definitely
I think that's contradictory, though, because then Kearney in the same breath goes and names like a Bryson Goodwin and a Jason Nightingale in the squad. Explain that to me, then. They're similar age, similar experience.
Well, he said that Bronson Goodwin was one of the best players for the Rabbitohs, which I totally disagree with, but that's what Kearney said in the New Zealand Herald. I don't know what game he was watching, but Bronson Goodwin has never been good. Okay?
No, I raised that before with Birchie. The Goodwin thing for me is, I don't know, like...
But Jason Nightingale, same club, 29 years old, been there, done that, got the T-shirt. What's the difference in picking him and leaving out Benji Marshall? There's no consistency in the approach. I think Kearney's got a vendetta against Benji. There, I said it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think there might be some personal issues there as well. But do we know whether Jason Nightingale is going to be going?
Yeah, he's named in the squad.
Yeah.
No. This is just the 40-man squad.
Yeah, he's named in the training squad. But more than likely, I'd say he'd get a ticket on the plane.
Well, I think Roden's going to be going for a winger.
Yeah, he'll be going.
You're going to have to take one experienced winger over there because we don't have Manu. Manu's out. So maybe Nightingale's going to be the experienced winger. And we are pretty short on centres. So I can see why he keeps talking up Bronson Goodwin. He's trying to make it sound like he's a good player, but we all know he's not.
We're short on halves too, just quietly.
It's a tough call.
That plays on the bench for the Broncos and a guy that's in under 20s never played first grade.
Yeah, no, but he's going to be good. Cody Nikodima shows he's going to be good. This is what we need to do. We need to get him into the system now. Because his little brother, he plays for Australia. He played for the under-20s Australia, yet the older brother plays for New Zealand. What's up with that, Nikodima? Go smash your little brother.
Yeah, that's a bit disheartening. But with how you say that we've got to bring these guys in, you only got to look at the All Blacks and the way their system runs there, and they're getting guys on these tours, going over with them to England and that. Like Artie Severe comes to mind, but he was not actually in the All Black squad. He just went with them. He learnt the systems. He learnt how it rolls. I think the Kiwis do have a good brotherhood, but I just don't think the respect is there in the case of Brad Thorne's a key one. And he's come out a few times of players when they come out, when they think they come in, young players coming into the systems and they think they can kind of do whatever they want, and they get shut down quite bad. Like Zach Guilford was one when he did something on the piss or something, and Brad Thorne went up to him after they had the team meeting and said, "Mate, if you do that again, you're never going to be an All Black." I just don't know if the same systems or the same cultures in place, and it's something definitely the Kiwis could learn at, like looking at the All Blacks.
Well, don't you think that's what Kearney's trying to instill? That's the whole reason why we need to trust him and believe in everything he says. Don't second guess the man. Three
But
wins.
definitely I'd have
Three wins
Benji.
in a row.
I'd have Benji as one of those leadership guys who would be looking at helping the younger boys.
Yeah, but don't you think he's a bit like the Robbie Farah factor? He's so big, he's so influential that you kind of have to sometimes move away from that. You have to move away. We all know how good he is and how special he is and what he's done for our country and for the jersey. But sometimes having someone like that is too influential when we want, as good as he is, we want to go down a different path. And I think that's what Cooney's trying to say. We've moved on. You've heard him say that plenty of times. We've moved on from Benji Marshall. But yet the people at home still want to watch Benji Marshall play. Let the coach coach.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great tour. Something that I've been seeing over here lately a bit is with the Hayne playing. The media were blowing him up, and then he has a little bit of a fumble in his first game, and then the media comes out saying, is he good enough to actually be in the NFL, and is he going to last very long? And I just don't know if they really understand the game, and it's not going to happen overnight, He's going to take a while to get used to the systems.
Didn't we all know that was going to happen?
I think, it was just a big hype from the media. But I've been impressed with him. Not every game he's going to be running like hundreds of meters and that, and getting his first touchdown. It's going to take time. This is the real deal now. It's not pre-season.
Exactly. It's the media always do that, and on the back of that, they'll sell plenty of jerseys. He's selling as many jerseys as Tom Brady and that tight end Gronsky. I don't know how to say his name, but he's right up there with jersey sales. So really, if you look at it that way, the media is doing their job. They're geeing someone up, and they're getting plenty of hype from it.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
we all knew that he's not going to get heaps of game time. We all knew that.
Yeah, I think he was actually 5th on that list, which is quite impressive. But there's definitely a lot of hype around him. Birchie, have you been watching much of that, or?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say I've jumped on the bandwagon with the rest of New Zealand and Australia, or especially League. But I think it's good. It's great to get exposure. I don't think that the great influx of people to go and play in the NFL is going to happen. I think that is just the media. That's just the media getting excited. But I think maybe a kicker or something we could produce. Something like that. But Hayne's a freak. He's just a natural athlete, and that's something that'll be transferable to any sport probably that he put his mind to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, he's a good athlete, right?
A couple of things I want to touch base on before we wrap it up is congratulations to Corey Webster on getting a 1-year multi-deal with the Pelicans. It's not a sure thing yet, but it's definitely another step in the right direction for a Kiwi in the NBA, and good on him, eh?
It's huge. It's huge because he's a small guy. That's huge. It's hard for a small guy to make it in the NBA, and that's right up there with with anybody else's achievements. Because even if he doesn't make it, he will make it, I think. Because if you watched him play Australia for that 2-game series we had, he was fire. We looked to him to score all our points. He ran the show. He was so good. We just don't quite have that height, and we're still a little bit inexperienced. But yeah, he goes real good, and I'm not actually that surprised that NBA has been looking at him because he's the real deal.
Yeah, definitely. And Shane Archbold, the old mate Shane Archbold, he crossed for his 3rd sprint podium finish of the year, and he's going real well. It's good on him, and I was talking with him the other day, and he said he's enjoying it, and he's got himself up there in the ranks, and he's living the dream basically. Nice. So good on him. Now to wrap it up, lastly. This is a bit off topic, but I thought we wouldn't bring this one up in the Rugby World Cup special. I posted up about everyone to bring in some questions. This isn't really a question, it's a statement, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Pat, he wrote in and he said, I think chicken legs at KFC should be given the red card, and shouldn't feature on the menu. And after last podcast, I definitely have to bring it up. I wasn't impressed in Chris Jackson when he did the But I wouldn't be against it if they were given the red card, and I wouldn't even mind if they took away those small wings too.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I've had enough of them. I think it's they say in these small little deals, oh, you get one piece of chicken, and it's always that crap wing. It's always that little piece. And I've had enough of it. I've had enough. So I'll be ready to sign any petition that anyone wants to put forward. You can have my number on there.
Do you want to start a petition?
Let's get rid of them. I've had enough. I buy this shit 3 to 4 times a week, okay? And I've had my fair share of them, okay? Oh, nah. Give me a thigh any day.
Definitely. Bertie, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure. Always enjoy your thoughts, and we'll definitely be seeing you back when we get I Have to Win a Warriors special, because you know us, we'll talk on hours on the Warriors. But thanks for coming in, mate.
Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. Bring back the bass.
The bass will definitely be featuring again. Thanks as well, Amor. But we'll be seeing you soon, and everyone stay tuned in because we've got the Rugby World special coming up. Cheers.
Mate,
Stay classy.
thank you.
Mean.
Cheers.